Hey y'all, today I'm going to be doing a little recipe video on how to make cobbler. We're going to use black raspberries that I picked, and they're pretty fresh. I picked these that I used in this recipe 3 days ago. You can put them in the fridge and they'll keep about 3 days, 4's pushing it, because they'll start getting a little moldy, about 4 days or so, depending on how you handled the berries or whatnot. But today, they still look great, so this is what we're doing with these that we picked a couple days ago. So to start out, we use all-purpose flour for sure. We need it to rise in a cobbler, and we have some Crisco and some milk. I use 2% or 1%, but you can use whole or whatever. Start out by washing your berries, get them on the stove with some sugar in them. I don't know how many cups of berries I had, somewhere between 3 and 4 cups probably, and I rinsed them good and then put them on the stove with about 3/4 of a cup of sugar, but it depends on what kind of berries you're using is how much sugar, and you're just going to have to kind of taste it and see. But I want to heat them up, and that way it makes your cobbler cook faster instead of putting cold berries in there. Alright, so let's get started. You can use a sift if you want to. I am not doing it. With this, we don't need a whole lot of flour. That right there is probably a cup and a half or so. But I'm going to put just a little bit of sugar in it. Maybe just like, I don't know, like just a little, not quite a handful. And I'm going to mix that up. Just a little, okay? And then we're going to get some Crisco. So I got about that much on a fork, on a regular size fork. I might put just a little more. Set that out of the way. And then we'll go in and mix it in our flour. Now you don't have to put the sugar in the flour mix, but I like to. Just makes your bread just a little sweet. This dessert's going to be best served with vanilla ice cream. I mean, it's good by itself, but my lordy, some vanilla ice cream and it's amazing. Do set your, preheat your oven to 350. That way it can be heating up while you're making your dough. So I'm just going to go in there now and just work it through. That way I make sure that this is really incorporated into my dough. It don't have to be perfect, but let's mix it quite well. And just keep working with it, and I just turn my dough, my bowl a little. You can kind of see what you got. And you'll see it start incorporating really well and changing the texture of the flour. Alright, so that feels pretty good to me. Alright, I'm going to add my milk now. Now, unlike pie, I'm going to wash my hands really quick. Unlike pie, we do want this runnier. So the consistency, I like to say, of pancake batter. Okay. And I use a whisk to do it. You can use a fork or whatever, but I like to use a whisk. This is going to probably be a little messy. That's okay. That's what washcloths are for, or as we like to call them in the South, wash rags. So I don't want it too soupy, nor do I want it too thick. Okay. Right here's probably a pretty good consistency. And it totally depends on how big of a cobbler you're making. And here's my little thing I'm going to put mine in. So it's not huge. But this stuff's going to rise. Just a little more milk. This stuff is going to rise. So you don't want to make your topping too thick, or it will totally overcrowd the berries and you just won't have as good of a flavor. Okay, I love this consistency right here. This is really good. Okay, and whisking it helps get the lumps out. Okay, it's still gonna have some lumps, so don't like freak out about that. All right, we're done with the whisk and with the milk, and we'll set this milk over here to clean off before it goes back in the fridge. All right, now we are ready for our berries to go in our little bowl. So and I'm just going to pour them straight in. Give them one little last stir to make sure that sugar's in there good. When they're cooked on the stove like this, they will definitely have a lot of juice. Don't let that scare you. That's fine. You want some juice in your cobbler. Okay? So make sure that that's down on there good. So my berries are about like this much in here. Now, you can either just pour this straight on top of your berries, or you can spoon it on. I like to spoon it on, that way I know how much I'm getting where, and I start with my outside corners. Now you can use a different spoon if you want to, but I just use the same spoon that I stirred my berries with. It's not going to hurt anything. I just start going right around the sides. We're going to have this cobbler for lunch today. The boys are down working on the chicken coop, so I've been picking raspberries all morning so they can have a little bit of cobbler with some vanilla ice cream with their lunch. Then I'm getting ready to fix them. Alright, now we have leftover, so I'm just going to kind of lightly top what I already have in there. I'm going in opposite direction from what I just went, and I'm going to go right around my edges again with the remaining. Of this. Now, you can take your spoon and kind of smooth it like that, or honestly, I just kind of jiggle it a little. That way everything incorporates itself well, and it smooths itself out. Alright, so now it's going to go in the oven, and I'm going to put it in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. And you're going to have to keep an eye on it to see when it's ready. And how you know it's ready is it's going to have a nice golden top to it. If it's a white top, it's not ready. If it's nice and golden, a little touch of brown, perfect. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed this. I will take a picture of what the cobbler looks like afterwards. Y'all have a good day now.